Hi there, friend. Let's begin with something gentle but important. Your body is not the same at 70 as it was at 50, and that's perfectly natural. In fact, it's a beautiful sign that you've lived, learned, and adapted. But here's the thing. Many of us try to keep up the same routines we had decades ago, thinking that's what health looks like. The truth is, our bodies are incredibly wise, and after 70, they begin asking for a different kind of care. As we age, everything from muscle mass to joint fluidity to energy levels begins to shift. Our muscles don't recover as quickly after activity. Our joints don't have the same natural cushioning they once did, and our energy reserves, well, they become more precious. This doesn't mean you should stop moving. Not at all. But it does mean we need to move more mindfully. Walking has been praised for decades as the ultimate exercise, and rightly so. It's simple, accessible, and has plenty of benefits. But there's a part of the story that often gets overlooked. When walking becomes too much, especially for those over 70, it can backfire. Too much daily walking, especially at longer distances or brisk paces, can lead to overuse injuries, fatigue, and inflammation. That's not what you deserve. I want to tell you about Joan, a lovely woman in her early 70s. Joan was a powerhouse. She walked 5 miles every day without fail. Rain or shine, she was out there. But after a while, her knees began to ache. She felt unusually tired during the day and needed longer naps just to function. She chalked it up to getting older, until a visit to her doctor revealed that her walking routine was actually causing more wear and tear than benefit. Her doctor helped her redesign her movement routine. Instead of long daily walks, she began walking shorter distances a few times a week. She added light stretching and strength exercises using small hand weights and resistance bands. After a few weeks, she noticed she had more energy, less pain, and, surprisingly, felt younger. What Joan learned is something many of us overlook. The goal of staying active in our 70s and beyond isn't about burning calories or keeping up with younger folks. It's about preserving function, feeling good, and supporting our quality of life. Walking still has a place, but it's just one piece of the puzzle, and it shouldn't be the only one. Your body is trying to tell you something, softly, kindly. It's saying, let's do this a little differently now. And listening to that voice isn't giving up. It's growing wiser. And wisdom, as you know, is one of the richest gifts of getting older. Now let's talk about something many people don't realize, how too much walking can quietly wear down your joints and bones over time, especially after the age of 70. You might be thinking, but walking is low impact, right? It's not like jogging or jumping. And you're absolutely right. Walking is gentle compared to high-impact exercises. But even gentle movements, when repeated too often or for too long, can begin to cause stress on the body. Imagine rubbing the same spot on your hand every single day. At first, it's fine. But over time, it starts to get irritated, even raw. Our joints are the same way. Every step you take puts a small amount of pressure on your knees, hips, ankles, and even your lower back. When you're younger, your cartilage, the soft, spongy material between your bones, can handle it pretty well. But as we age, that cartilage naturally starts to thin. This means there's less cushioning between your bones. And when you walk too much, that wear and tear can build up faster than your body can repair it. Here's where things get tricky. Joint pain doesn't always show up right away. It creeps in slowly. Maybe it starts as a little stiffness in the morning, then a bit of soreness after a long walk. And before you know it, you're reaching for pain cream or wondering why your knees feel swollen. Let me tell you about Larry. He's 76, and he loved his long daily walks, sometimes up to 90 minutes a day. It was his time to clear his head, listen to the birds, and get some fresh air. But over the course of a few months, he began to notice a dull ache in his hip. Then his knees started to feel sore halfway through his usual route. At first, he thought it was just aging, something to endure. But when the pain started keeping him up at night, he knew something had to change. His doctor explained that the pain wasn't just age, it was overuse. His joints were telling him they needed a break, a new approach. So Larry started shortening his walks, added some gentle strength training and swimming to his week, and took regular rest days. Within a few weeks, the pain started to ease. Now he still walks, but not to the point of exhaustion. He's more balanced and far more comfortable. It's important to understand that walking too much isn't a sign of dedication. It can actually be a sign that we're ignoring what our bodies are asking for. And that's okay. We've all done it. But when we shift from pushing ourselves to caring for ourselves, everything starts to feel better. Your joints have carried you through decades of life. They deserve kindness now. And sometimes, kindness looks like walking a little less and resting a little more. Let's take a moment to talk about something that often goes unnoticed: fatigue. After 70, feeling tired might seem like a normal part of aging, but in many cases, it's actually your body's way of sending a signal. And this signal is important because it might be telling you that something is out of balance. Fatigue isn't just about needing a nap. It's more than that. It's the type of exhaustion that lingers, that doesn't go away even after a good night's sleep. It's the kind of tiredness that makes it harder to focus, to be present, or to enjoy the things you love. And when we push through this kind of fatigue, we're doing ourselves a disservice. Here's something interesting. Chronic fatigue can actually affect your overall health in ways you might not realize. When you walk too much, or when you overdo any physical activity, it takes a toll on your body's energy reserves. If you don't give your body enough time to rest and recover, the long-term effects can be detrimental. In fact, your body starts producing more of a stress hormone called cortisol, which, over time, can disrupt your sleep, affect your mood, and even lower your immune system's ability to fight off illness. Let's look at Margaret, for example. Margaret is 71, and she used to walk for an hour every day without fail. At first, it felt great, but after a few months, she noticed that no matter how much sleep she got, she was still tired all the time. Her legs felt heavy, and she couldn't concentrate the way she used to. After speaking with her doctor, she realized that her body was struggling with the constant exertion. The fatigue she was feeling wasn't just a sign of aging. It was a direct result of over-exercising. Her doctor encouraged her to slow down and take more rest days. They worked together to create a new movement routine that focused on balance and strength exercises, without the same constant wear and tear on her body. Margaret started taking 2 full rest days each week, and she made sure to listen to her body, stopping if she felt too tired. Within a few weeks, the difference was remarkable. Not only did her energy levels improve, but she started sleeping more soundly, and her mood brightened. She could feel the change in her body, and she felt more in control of her health. Fatigue is your body's way of asking for balance. It's not a sign of weakness. It's a gentle reminder that your body needs time to recover, especially as you age. The truth is, our bodies are designed to rest, just as much as they are designed to move. When we don't respect that balance, we end up burning out, and that can speed up the aging process. So, the next time you feel that lingering tiredness after a walk or a workout, remember, it's okay to slow down. Taking a rest isn't a setback. It's part of staying healthy and active for the long haul. When we think about staying active as we get older, it's easy to focus on how much we walk or how far we can go. But here's a little secret. Muscle strength is more important than mileage. That's right. Building and maintaining muscle is one of the best things you can do for your body, especially after 70. As we age, we naturally lose muscle mass. It's called sarcopenia, and it happens to everyone, whether we like it or not. By the time we reach our 70s, we can lose as much as 3% to 5% of our muscle mass per decade. And without enough muscle, everything starts to feel harder. Simple tasks like getting out of a chair, carrying groceries, or even walking longer distances become more challenging. Your metabolism slows down, your balance becomes less stable, and you're more likely to experience falls or injuries. While walking is a great way to stay active, it doesn't do much to build muscle. Walking mainly works your lower body muscles, but it doesn't give your muscles the challenge they need to grow stronger. That's where strength training comes in. Adding some resistance exercises to your routine is key to preserving and even building muscle as you age. Let me tell you about Jane, a 75-year-old woman who had always considered herself a walker. She walked several miles every day, rain or shine, but she noticed that her energy levels were starting to dip, and she felt like her legs were getting weaker, not stronger. Her doctor explained that while walking was good for her heart, it wasn't enough to keep her muscles strong. Jean was surprised to learn that simply walking wasn't enough to combat muscle loss. With her doctor's guidance, Jean decided to try incorporating some light strength training into her routine. She started with resistance bands and small hand weights, doing exercises like squats, lunges, and bicep curls. She focused on strengthening her legs, core, and upper body. After a few weeks, Jean noticed a huge difference. She was walking with more energy, her legs felt more stable, and she even noticed that her posture had improved. Now Jean still walks every day, but she's added strength training to her routine. She says that the combination of walking and weight-bearing exercises has made her feel stronger and more confident. The best part, she has the stamina to do more things she loves without feeling drained. The key takeaway here is this: walking is wonderful for your heart, but if you want to maintain muscle strength and mobility, you need to do more. It doesn't have to be intense or complicated. Even simple exercises with resistance bands or light weights can make a huge difference. Start slow, listen to your body, and gradually build up your strength. You'll be amazed at how much stronger you feel and how much easier everyday activities become. Remember, it's not just about how far you walk, it's about how strong you feel every day. As we age, it's easy to fall into a routine, especially when something feels comfortable. Many of us enjoy a good walk every day, but did you know that doing the same exercise every single day can actually be limiting? Your body thrives on variety. Just as eating the same meal every day can get boring and lack nutrients, doing the same physical activity day in and day out can lead to overuse injuries and mental fatigue. Introducing variety into your routine is a simple yet powerful way to stay engaged, prevent injuries, and give your muscles the balance they need. Let's talk about why variety is so important. First, when you mix things up, you're engaging different muscle groups. Walking mainly targets your legs, but adding activities like swimming, tai chi, or strength training can engage your core, arms, and back. This creates a more well-rounded, functional body, capable of moving in a variety of ways. Second, changing your routine helps prevent overuse injuries. When you do the same movement repeatedly, such as walking long distances every day, certain muscles or joints can become stressed, leading to pain or discomfort. By alternating between different types of movement, you're giving those overworked muscles and joints time to rest and recover. For example, swimming is a great low-impact exercise that works almost every muscle in your body without putting too much strain on your joints. On the other hand, Tai Chi is fantastic for improving balance and flexibility. Let me share a story about Tom and his wife Martha. Both are in their early 70s, and for years, they took daily walks together. While they loved the fresh air and spending time with each other, they noticed that their walks were starting to feel more like a chore. Tom's knees were beginning to ache, and Martha found herself getting bored with the same route every day. They realized they needed to shake things up. They decided to add some variety to their week. Instead of walking every day, they now alternate between walking, swimming at the local pool, and taking a beginner yoga class together. Tom loves swimming because it's gentle on his knees, and Martha finds yoga helps with her flexibility and calmness. The change brought new energy to their routine. They've both noticed they have more stamina and enjoy their activities much more. What's more, their new routine helps them feel stronger and more balanced. Variety isn't just good for your body, it's good for your mind too. When you're always doing the same thing, it's easy to get into a mental rut. Trying something new can reignite your interest and make exercising feel less like a task. If you've never tried dancing, join a local class or take a gentle stretch class if that sounds fun. Try a new hobby like gardening or a recreational sport like pickleball, which many older adults are loving. The key is to find something that you enjoy and that challenges your body in new ways. Mixing things up doesn't have to be overwhelming or complicated. Start small. Even swapping one day of walking for something different each week can have a huge impact on how you feel, physically and mentally. One of the most important lessons we learn as we age is the art of listening to our bodies. When we're younger, we often push through discomfort, thinking that pushing ourselves harder is the only way to stay healthy. But as we get older, we realize that it's not about how much we can endure. It's about how well we can tune into what our bodies need and adjust accordingly. This is where the concept of self-discipline becomes truly powerful, not the harsh kind, but the gentle kind. Self-discipline, in this case, means being kind and patient with yourself. It means recognizing when you've pushed a little too hard and knowing when to stop before something turns into an injury. It's about making choices that support your long-term health rather than short-term goals. So many of us have a tendency to power through when we feel tired or in pain, thinking that if we stop, we're somehow failing. But here's the truth. Respecting your limits is one of the best ways to stay strong and healthy for the long haul. Take Marcia, for example. Marcia is 80, and for most of her life, she's been a go-getter. She's always loved to walk, but over time, she started noticing a nagging pain in her lower back after her daily walks. At first, she ignored it, thinking it was just a normal part of aging. But after a few weeks, the pain grew worse. Marcia's doctor gently reminded her that sometimes we push ourselves out of habit, not because it's actually what our bodies need. Marcia decided to listen to her body more closely. She didn't stop walking altogether, but she shortened her walks and focused on stretching before and after. She also added more variety to her routine, switching between walking, swimming, and yoga. At first, it felt a little uncomfortable to change her long-standing routine, but she soon realized that these adjustments made her feel so much better. The back pain lessened, and she found that she had more energy throughout the day. It can be hard to slow down when you've spent a lifetime of being active, but the truth is, slowing down doesn't mean giving up. It means being more in tune with your body. Self-discipline isn't about pushing harder or enduring pain. It's about knowing when to rest, when to adjust, and when to change things up. And by doing this, you're actually practicing a deeper form of strength. When you listen to your body, it's a way of showing respect to yourself. It's a way of saying, I understand you, and I'm going to give you what you need to keep going strong. It doesn't matter if that means taking a rest day, cutting your walk short, or choosing a gentler exercise. What matters is that you're honoring the signals your body is giving you. So next time you feel tired, sore, or just a bit off, take a moment to listen. Don't push through it. Instead, give yourself the gift of rest or a gentle change in routine. This kind of self-discipline is the kind that will keep you moving well into your later years. As we get older, we sometimes feel pressure to keep up with the expectations we've set for ourselves or the standards that others may have. The world can often feel like it's rushing ahead while we're trying to keep pace. But here's an important point to remember. Slowing down isn't a sign of weakness. It's a sign of wisdom. And there are real psychological benefits to giving yourself permission to rest, adjust, and practice kindness towards your own needs. When we push ourselves too hard physically, we can inadvertently trigger stress, anxiety, and feelings of inadequacy. There's this societal idea that in order to earn rest, we must constantly be busy or active. But when we're overdoing it with exercise, like walking too much or doing high-intensity activities regularly, we're actually adding unnecessary stress to our bodies. This can lead to burnout, which doesn't just affect your physical health but your mental well-being too. Consider Helen, who's 72 and has been walking long distances every day for years. She used to feel proud of herself for maintaining her routine, but over time, she started to feel anxious and irritable. Even though she was physically active, she didn't feel at peace. Her mind was always racing, and the thought of taking a break or slowing down felt like giving up. When she visited her doctor gently suggested she might be overdoing it, and that it was time to find a healthier balance. Helen took her doctor's advice to heart. Instead of pushing herself to walk long distances every day, she started taking more time for herself. She incorporated mindfulness practices like deep breathing and meditation, focusing on being present and listening to her body. She also added more restorative exercises like gentle stretching and yoga, which helped her feel calm and centered. In just a few weeks, Helen noticed a huge difference. She felt less anxious, more relaxed, and more connected to herself. Her walks became more enjoyable, and she felt a greater sense of peace. The truth is, slowing down can offer incredible psychological benefits. It gives you the space to breathe, reflect, and be present in the moment. It allows you to reconnect with your body in a loving, gentle way. When you're constantly on the go, your mind and body never get the chance to reset. But when you take breaks and give yourself permission to rest, you're giving your nervous system the time it needs to recover. And that's how true well-being happens. It's important to remember that our worth is not defined by how much we do or how far we can go. It's not about meeting some external expectation. It's about tuning in to what makes you feel good physically and mentally. Self-compassion is key. When you give yourself the gift of slowing down, you're not just taking care of your body, you're nurturing your mind and soul as well. So the next time you feel the urge to push harder, ask yourself, what would happen if you slowed down just a little? You might be surprised at how much better you feel, mentally, emotionally, and physically. And remember, taking care of yourself is one of the kindest things you can do for both your body and your mind. As we've explored throughout this video, the key to staying healthy and vibrant after 70 isn't about doing more. It's about doing less in the right way. It's about listening to your body, respecting your limits, and finding balance. So let's talk about how you can make small, meaningful changes that will support your long-term health and well-being. The beauty of small changes is that they add up over time. Instead of trying to completely overhaul your routine, focus on making one or two simple adjustments. These tweaks can have a big impact without overwhelming you. The goal is progress, not perfection. Start with your walking routine. If you're used to walking long distances every day, try cutting back a bit. Instead of walking 5 days a week, consider walking 3 or 4. On the days you're not walking, add in other forms of gentle exercise. Maybe swimming, tai chi, or even light strength training. Variety will not only help keep your muscles strong, but it will also protect your joints and reduce the risk of overuse injuries. Think of it as cross-training for life. Another small change is incorporating more rest. I know it can feel difficult to slow down when you've spent your whole life staying active, but rest is just as important as exercise. Your body needs time to recover, and this recovery period is when your muscles rebuild and your energy is restored. So give yourself permission to take a full rest day each week, or if that feels too much, start by resting after every few days of activity. Allowing your body time to recharge will help you feel fresher and more energized when you do exercise. You might also consider adding mindfulness or relaxation exercises to your routine. This can be as simple as taking a few minutes each day to breathe deeply, stretch gently, or even practice meditation. These calming activities can reduce stress, improve sleep, and enhance your overall sense of well-being. Stress can take a toll on your body, especially as you age, so building moments of peace into your day can be incredibly powerful. I also want to encourage you to listen to your body in a deeper way. We've discussed how important it is to notice when you're tired or in pain, but it's just as important to pay attention to how you feel when you're moving. Are you enjoying the activity? Do you feel energized afterward? If not, It might be a sign to try something different. Movement should feel good, not exhausting or painful. The more you tune in, the more you'll find what works best for you. Finally, remember that these small changes don't need to happen all at once. In fact, you might find that the most lasting results come from taking things one step at a time. Celebrate each positive adjustment, no matter how small, and trust that your body will thank you for the care you're giving it. So, start where you are, make small changes, and keep listening to your body. With these gentle shifts, you'll not only feel better, but you'll also create a sustainable routine that supports your health for years to come.